PBI is an organisation that I've known about for a few years, and I find their work unique and breathtaking. They protect human rights and environmental defenders in Latin America, Asia and Africa who are at risk because they believe in environmental justice, threatened by state and other armed groups who want to silence their voices. Environmental defenders could be lawyers defending victims affected by mining pollution, peace communities campaigning to protect their land from indiscriminate exploitation, indigenous groups denouncing environmental damage to their sacred lands. PBI sends teams of unarmed international observers. I mean, literally, they go out in just a T-shirt with Peace Brigade written on. Where was I? Yes. To accompany these brave environmental defenders and make their struggle more visible and to think twice about killing an activist. Over the last 10 years, people have become more concerned about the importance of protecting the environment, and this has led to businesses caring more about their environmental image. But very few talk about the risks faced by the people who are on the front line of this struggle, environmental defenders. On average, one environmental defender gets killed every week. Recently, PBI was informed that Mr. Garcia, a peasant farmer in Colombia, was killed because he was opposing a mining project in his region. This is not just one more isolated case, it is a global trend that is becoming very worrying. The information available is scarce. The issue is completely invisible. Many communities struggle to protect their environment because they often live in poverty in isolated rural areas, have limited access to support networks, and they are standing up against extremely powerful interest groups such as big businesses. They face serious risks, and the degradation of their environment and the natural resources they depend on is imminent. Who is the earth for? Who decides what use is made of the land? What does economic growth mean, and who benefits from the distribution of such resources? Many rural communities have their own ideas about what their land should be used for, but often they are not consulted before exploitation. PBI wants to run a campaign to protect environmental defenders and raise awareness about their situation. The campaign includes 3 different complementary strands. Firstly, an awareness-raising campaign by making this issue more visible through different channels such as social media and online campaigning and documentary film. We can raise the political costs of big businesses devastating the environment and violating human rights. It is crucial to make this issue more visible. Secondly, PBI will lobby the British government about providing ethical advice to British companies operating in other countries. PBI will continue to make recommendations to the UN and UK government about best practice on business and human rights. Thirdly, to strengthen our protection to environmental defenders. PBI will provide unarmed protection through its field volunteers to over 100 defenders across the world. I recently had the chance to learn from the testimony of a PBI volunteer who spent 2 years in Colombia accompanying communities who oppose economic interests in their land. She told me about a community leader, Manuel Reyes, who was murdered together with his 15-year-old son because he was advocating for his community's land rights. She accompanied community members as they went to search for Manuel's body. They found it on a riverbank with vultures circling above him and a big bullet hole in the side of his head. If it hadn't been for the presence of PBI, the community wouldn't have been able to go and search for his body because it was too dangerous. And the solidarity of the PBI volunteers made them feel more enabled to go on this search mission. The fact that they were able to find and identify both bodies has meant there is now a legal investigation about their deaths. You can help PBI to support environmental defenders. Without those on the front line, there is nothing that stands between us and environmental degradation. Environmental defenders are incredibly brave and committed. But bravery is not enough. Environmental defenders need our support today. This is not a competition. This is not an X Factor judgment. It's a plea for your consideration and for your help. Thank you.